Hello and welcome to this episode, and we have just watched the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, so let's discuss it.
Pure happiness.
Is your body ready for this film?
Oh, yes. Right. First off, just want to talk about our feelings towards Spider-Man in general. Favourite superhero.
Yeah.
By quite a decent measure.
In the movie universe, I liked all 5 of the films so far. Yeah.
All 5?
Yeah.
Not all 2?
No, definitely all 5. Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, then your opinion's wrong, so let's just take that as a fact for now. So yeah, we just watched the trailer, and we're just going to give you some of our thoughts on it. First off, the humour.
So, I mean, even though Marvel films have a thing of being funny, like Guardians really set that tone.
Yeah.
Smackbang. This, even funnier than that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they've one of the problems that I mentioned with Spider-Man films is that a lot of them don't get that sarcastic humor to Peter Parker a lot of the time. Like in the Avengers comic books, when it's like, okay, we have to split up. No one wants to split up with Spider-Man because he's just going to rip into everybody. He can't take anything seriously because, surprisingly, he's a kid.
Yeah.
Not like a 25-year-old actor playing a kid. Like, no, a very quite young person playing it.
I read a lot of skepticism when Tom Holland was cast, and they were like, "This isn't right. A kid shouldn't play Spider-Man." I'm like going, "What? What are you talking about?"
He's literally like at the start. He's a 16-year-old kid because it's a power fantasy. He wants to be, and they play into that youth role actually because he's immediately set out as like, "What do I have to do to become an Avenger?"
Yeah,
and it's Iron Man's like, "You're not ready yet." It's like they're setting that sort of mentor and student attitude where it's like, just because you're a superhero doesn't mean you're an Avenger yet, which is great.
I liked how in the trailer they straight away first scene was like, we're going to take advantage of that Disney now has the rights for this, and we're going to include 5 Marvel characters. We're going to go Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. You know, we're going to go all these in a room, even though it's not them, it's just the bank robbers. But we're allowed to mention their we're allowed to mention their names.
Yeah,
let's just go there. Let's give the fans some credit for waiting this long.
Yeah,
and let's get into the trailer.
Yeah. I just like when he's just lined up against that lamppost. He's lined up against the wall, just like, I'm gonna laugh really hard at this.
I can't wait to see his best friend as well in the film, because if you remember back to Ant-Man, where the Ant-Man's Mexican sidekick, the funniest thing in the Ant-Man film, which was a funny film. I can't wait to see this guy now, like Spider-Man's best friend. I mean, if he's got a track record like that guy, he's gonna steal the film.
He's Mexican, brilliant. He's the comedic plot of the entire film. Yeah, set up the love interest, set up the mentor student kind of thing. The villain as well. It's Michael Keaton playing Birdman. The Vulture. Another avian superhero. That's another one to add to his belt.
Good to see such a great actor as well. I mean, I know we had a great actor with playing Electro.
Did we?
In Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, he's a good actor, but that film was trash anyway.
Exactly. I mean, the villain was a bit dodgy. The film wasn't trash.
Yeah.
But you sort of lose a bit of confidence in the villain role in Spider-Man films then, but now that's brought it right back with Mark Keaton. I have confidence in him playing the Vulture.
Yeah, even though Vulture isn't like one of the top tier ones, he's still part of the Sinister Six.
Definitely.
So I'm still going to look forward to that.
My dream was to see Kraven, because Kraven's Last Hunt is one of the best Spider-Man stories.
Is it?
For sure.
Right. I'll give that one a look out. So it feels like another good like wiping the slate clean, and obviously Homecoming's a reference to being back into Marvel and all that. You mentioned earlier that they want to do a Spider-Man film for every year in high school that he's in.
Yeah, that's what was rumoured. So it's like a Harry Potter sort of thing, where they're going to go through each high school year with each film, basically.
So yeah,
whether that gets put ahead, because in historical Spider-Man film context, they've done 3 films and 2 films, not Harry Potter's 7 or 8 films. So we'll see.
So how we're getting into Harry Potter now.
Yeah.
But I like that this is having him introduced him in Civil War, which, introducing him and Black Panther was enough of a gamble anyway, but it paid off. You already got a good cut of development. So this film can go straight into none of that, I was bit by a spider. Well, they're going to put it in anyway, because this is always going to be someone's first Spider-Man film. But hopefully,
especially for the younger audiences, because you know who this is targeted at. This is targeted at high school age.
can't-
And so you're going to get people who haven't seen Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield.
I'm gonna say something right now that is gonna make you rich. Hopefully they make it a little bit like Batman vs Superman, and
Get out.
and they just give, like with Batman's side story, they just Batman's
Yeah,
past.
okay, I understand.
They
yeah.
just give him like 2-3 minutes. You've
Yeah.
seen this enough, and even if you haven't, you can still get an idea. Boom, here's the rest of the film.
Yeah,
Except this
for
film's
sure.
going to be better.
From what we see in the trailer, when he's climbing on the wall in his room and his best friend's like, "You're climbing on the wall." Like, it seems like he's sort of new to his powers because
Mhm.
he's doing it in front of people, and so I think it's inevitable that we're going to get a substantial origin story. I think in this, I
Yeah,
think it's a sort of and because it's Marvel doing the film for the first time, they're not going to want to.
oh, of course, yeah.
because they don't want you going back to the previous films made by different companies. They want you to have this as your reference.
yeah.
So,
Did you notice that? Are they doing the Deadpool eye trick where
what do you? Oh yeah. With the changing eye size.
the changing? Oh,
Yeah.
that is. I'm so happy that's like a thing which is now happening because that gave Deadpool so much more emotion than ever could have been
Yeah,
achieved.
we saw it in the Civil War trailer
Yeah.
as well. That how that changed and things.
Yeah.
Like
It almost looks like camera lenses, so even having that little bit of expression, I think, is gonna,
that, for sure.
really elevate it. Where it's not like Tobey Maguire, where you just have to cry every few minutes.
Harsh. So harsh.
Somewhere Tobey Maguire is crying at that insult.
Spider-Man 2 was amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah, they even I think they even referenced Spider-Man 2 in this trailer as well.
Yeah, with the sequence where he's holding together. I think is it a bridge or a ship or something? It's
Something
really
like
hard
that,
to
yeah.
tell. Yeah.
Oh, I really am looking forward to this film. It's just that when is this coming out? Because it comes out 7th,
August, yeah, next year.
so it comes out next year. What will we have already had by then?
We would have had Guardians
Mhm.
and Thor. I know Thor will be September, October time. So we would have had Guardians, Wolverine, and is there any more? I don't think so. Yeah, so definitely Guardians.
Part of me wants to think Wonder Woman, but
Yeah, maybe. But definitely Guardians and Wolverine. So
Yeah.
we're going to have a hell of a year.
yeah, where do you think you're going to place this in retrospect to the other ones? Because obviously this is a 2-minute trailer.
Well,
Obviously it's meant to build up hype.
we've got what we saw from Civil War as well, what we saw of the character.
Mm.
And for him to steal that movie when you've got, what is it, like 10 years of backstory between some of the other characters,
Mm.
for him just to take that and go, right, he's the best character in here, this is going to be very high on my Spider-Man list, if not first, I would imagine.
I quite like that. I've already talked about the mentor role a bit, but I quite like that you do get a bit of a glory shot with Iron Man as well.
Yeah,
swinging through, where
like
it's
that.
like,
They had to get some sort of end shot, and to have that sort of them both swooping through, looks like New York at that time.
Yeah.
you know what you're going to expect in this.
arguably two of the most popular
Mm.
characters. Well, Spider-Man's always been in like the top 3 most
Mhm.
recognizable characters. Now Iron Man's up there, so
Mhm.
very wise decision having Downey Jr. in it, even if he is just like a little in the headset talking
Yeah,
to
yeah.
him for most of the film.
I don't know, because when they talk together, like when Peter Parker was saying that he wants to deal with the Vulture
Mhm.
and doesn't want to be treated like a kid, it sort of says to me that he's going to go off on his own to try and defeat him. So I was kind of worried that Iron Man would overpower whatever villain there was. 'Cause,
Exactly, yeah.
Missiles.
I
Yeah.
mean, come on, look what he
Yeah.
did to the village in
Yeah.
the first film, and this is like 10 suits later.
But I think that with the rebel side of Peter Parker that we're definitely going to get here, where he wants to do things on his own, that's going to be why the Vulture is such an important villain, because he's going to use that to his advantage.
So yeah, and they've got to throw it in together as well and be like, oh, is he going to get the girl in the end? Because the plot is that there is a homecoming dance.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah,
think
that's
so.
that's the end goal then, right? Okay, I can sort of piece together how the film's going to play out
Yeah.
at the moment. So
The high school aspect of it, but you've got I think you're going to have so many.
Oh yeah, the high school. I can predict the ending right now, where it's like Tony Stark drives him up and gives him like gives him like a card and says, "You're an Avenger now. Go and enjoy your high school dance." Film ends like that's
Yeah.
that's how I think it's going to end. But this is like following the not only Marvel formula, but like the teen high school formula.
Mm-hmm.
As we said before, like every Marvel film's got its own like little bit of flavor to it. Like Thor's obviously playing with high fantasy. Cap in the first film
Mhm.
played with World War II, and then a spy espionage for Civil War for Winter Soldier. Iron Man, it's all out tech.
Yeah.
Guardians, you had like space humor as well.
I mean, this is opening themselves up to such a big audience with this like high school like fantasy, roughly genre.
High
here.
school comic book
Yeah,
setting.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, just July couldn't come sooner enough.
I know July. Yeah, you're right. July. Yeah. But the thing that really interests me is that you win the first Avenger. No, not the first Avenger. The Winter Soldier. as you
Yeah.
said. We had Falcon introduced
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of like tagging along with Captain America, seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
And we've had similar things with like Scarlett Johansson in Iron Man 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye in Thor 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going for something along the same lines with Iron Man mentoring Spider-Man, but in Spider-Man's film. So I'm really interested to see how that works. How they've not just put a Spider-Man as a supporting character, but then they're going huge risk and just putting him in there,
Mm-hmm.
but putting a little bit of Iron Man on the side just in case.
I do hope so
things go
because
wrong.
like obviously Downey is like such a magnet pull
Mhm.
for other films at the moment. You know, it's basically the reason that we got Captain America: Civil War, but that's basically Iron Man 3.5
Yeah.
essentially. So having that giant star, it's like you obviously want enough so that there's that recognizability where it's like, oh look, Iron Man's in it too. Let's make all the kids and all the 20-year-olds go crazy over it.
I suppose it sort of takes away from the Uncle Ben, Aunt May aspect, because Peter Parker can then go to Tony Stark and say, this is what's going wrong or whatever with and how I'm experiencing my new powers.
Yeah.
And always in the Spider-Man movies before, he could never talk to Aunt May or obviously Uncle Ben he could never talk to, but he could
Ben.
he could never talk to Aunt May or Mary Jane about it. So it's nice to have that other side of it.
Definitely, because the main one of the big pulls of Spider-Man is that he does have to like trying to struggle with high school and getting bullied by the jocks, then getting bullied by supervillains.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to have like that middle ground where Iron Man can just talk to him about it.
You can just shoot some people with his missiles and go, it's okay.
It's okay. I'm here for you, kid. Just.
Yeah.
I think that's all we've got to say really about the trailer.
Yeah, so we're super hyped for this. The music, it just hyped me even more. It suited the trailer so well. And even more so, let's fast forward to July next year.
Yeah, okay. Put me in cryos and then wake me up in July when all the good films come out again.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.